On our website, fox6now.com.
The National Rifle Association is adding another layer of controversy to an already over how to control gun violence in this country. NRA announcing its recommendations for preventing gun violence in schools. Fox's Craig Boswell explains what that plan is.
The NRA weighs in with its own plan for safer schools. The nation's largest pro-gun lobby wants armed guards in schools and has detailed recommendations for law enforcement on training, along with guidelines for state and local officials on altering ordinances to allow this on campuses.
This is not talking about all teachers. Teachers should teach. But if there is a personnel that has good experience, that has an interest in it, and is willing to go through this training, then that is an appropriate resource that a school should be able to utilize.
The NRA ignited a firestorm last December when, a week after the shootings of 20 children and 6 adults at Newtown, Connecticut, it first announced its ideas. Lawmakers are debating a number of gun control proposals, including stronger penalties for firearms trafficking.
There are only 2 groups that should oppose this bill: criminals and people who want to buy guns for criminals.
Universal background checks are also a key focus of gun control legislation. A recent Fox News poll reveals that among a long list of proposals, universal background checks on all gun buyers is the most popular, with 85% in favor. Some lawmakers are not sold.
That won't work. Criminals will never go through a background check.
President Obama travels to Denver tomorrow to meet with law enforcement about national gun control laws. Colorado's governor recently signed a trio of gun bills that include mandatory background checks. In Washington, Craig Boswell, Fox News.
Meanwhile, Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clark approves of the NRA's plan. In a statement, he says, in part, quote, "The NRA has put forth a common sense model that addresses the real problem, which is the criminal and the mass murderer." He goes on to say the federal government should provide money for schools to get that protection. Facebook users on the Fox 6 News page are clearly split on the NRA's school safety plan.
Charlie writes us saying guns have no place in schools by either students or faculty.
James says, "I do not understand why people think making a school a gun-free zone is going to deter a criminal." Becky says, "I don't know many teachers or generally school workers who would feel very comfortable carrying a weapon while dealing with children."
And Amanda points out, as a teacher myself, I would gladly carry something like a taser gun so I can potentially stop an armed intruder. Thanks for joining our conversation. We invite you to share all your thoughts by liking Fox 6 News on Facebook.
Ever order something in a restaurant, decide it wasn't quite right, and then send it back to the kitchen?
In most